Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Victoria Day for all of us who live in Canada. My name is Rush Dead Dixon Vixen, and welcome back to Rush Dead Dixon Vixen's Kitchen. Tonight we are going to be doing a very special recipe. Like I made it before, and I'm going to attempt to do it again, and it's one of my favorites. It's olive rosemary bread. And now we are going to put our ingredients together. First, we'll start off with our yeast mixture. And what we'll add is 2 packets of instant active yeast. Put it in the bowl. And then we'll add 1 tablespoon of white sugar. Okay, get it all out. And then we are going to add 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And then finally we will add 1/2 cup of warm water. Okay, now it's all together. One moment, please. I gotta get something else. Got my whisk, forgot the whisk here, so we're going to combine it. And what we're going to do is we're going to leave for about 5 minutes until it's foaming. Now, I'll put my timer on for 5 minutes. And now we are going to do the next step of our bread. Okay, what I have in this big bowl is 5 cups of bread flour. You can use all-purpose flour if you want, but the bread flour is really, really good. Okay, and then I'm going to add in some Kalamata olives that are dried, that I picked up at Fortino's. Yeah, and you got I put them dry on a soak the excess moisture out of these so your bread doesn't get soggy. Yep, which is a good thing. If you see anything when it's added, anything like olives or any wet ingredient you got here, just dry it off with excess moisture with a paper towel. Best thing to do. Okay, then we're going to add in our fresh rosemary, which is really, really good. So I use like 1 whole thing of fresh rosemary, so I put it in my bowl. And next, we are going to add 2 teaspoons of salt, and we'll mix it up. Okay, now we're going to mix our ingredients together and use a wooden spoon. Make sure you get it all mixed in. This is if you put 4 cups of flour into the bowl, see how it gets, how it's going to be all combined. And you want to get an extra bowl and get yourself 1 cup of bread flour, so you can knead it for the kneading and the system in the bowl. So. Okay, just a minute here. One moment, please. Now that our 5 minutes are almost up, we got another minute to go. Okay, we got about a few more minutes to go. Meanwhile, I'll tidy up here a bit. Gotta get through this one. Okay, so the 5 minutes are now done, and now what we're going to do now is add our yeast mixture, which is bubbling now. Okay, one more minute till the alarm goes off. Okay, stir this up a little bit more. Now we'll add in our yeast mixture. The yeast mixture is all in there. And then we will add 1 cup of warm water. And we'll put it in the bowl. And then next we stir this up till it's combined with our wooden spoon. So it's combined all up. So you want to mix it up until we get the flour and the moisture combined. Well, it's gonna look good. Okay, now that our mixture is combined, and what you want to do next is turn the dough out onto a lightly floured. Okay, so let me switch here for a bit. So what we want to do next is we're going to get your 1 cup of flour and lightly surface your counter. Get a little closer here. Okay, I guess I gotta get a better tripod. I hate this one. Okay, next up what you're gonna do is put our dough onto our floured surface. Yeah, get on all the dough. Okay, and next what you want to do is knead until smooth and elastic, so for about 8 minutes. So I'm going to set the timer for 8 minutes so you won't over knead. Egg timer, get one. It'll help. Okay, set our timer for 8 minutes now. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start kneading the bread, and until it's smooth and elastic. And keep adding more flour if you need to. So you want to get all the flour that's in our bread. Keep kneading it and kneading it. Okay, well, I'll be back in about 8 minutes, and then I'll show you the next step of the bread. Now what we're gonna do, we kneaded our bread for about 8 minutes, and that's when we add in the remainder of our all-purpose flour. And what we wanna do next is take some olive oil and grease the bowl, much and long enough to cover the whole bread. So that'll be good enough. So olive oil. Okay, and now what we did is we kneaded our dough, we shaped it into a round ball. It's the best I could. So what we want to do is we put our bread in the olive oil. And what we want to do is coat the bread in olive oil until it's nice and coated. Looks great. Okay, now that our olive oil, we covered our dough with olive oil. Let me wash my hands. I'll teach you the next step. Okay, now what we're going to do is we are going to take our saran wrap, and we are going to cover our dough with it. Okay, we'll cover up our bowl. And then what we're going to do is we are going to cover the bowl. We're going to want the dough to rise in a nice warm place. So I'm suggesting, like, you can leave it on the counter if it's warm enough, or you can put it in somewhere where it's warm and dry, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put mine in the oven behind, not turning it on, and we're going to put this anywhere you want to be to let it rise. And we are going to let it rise for 1 hour. Okay, so we'll put the timer on for an hour. And I'll see you then. Okay, now that the hour is up, we're here to do the next step. And now we see our bread has risen. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take this off. And what you want to do first is punch the dough down. And then on a lightly floured surface, what we want to do is put it on a lightly floured spot area. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut this in the middle. So you'll have 2 halves to make for easier rolling. Here's 1 half, and here's the second half. And now what we're going to do now is we are going to cover this up again, and we are going to leave it to rest for 15 minutes. Okay, wash my hands. Okay, and now it's time to set the timer for 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, I'll show you the next step. Okay, Okay, we are back again, and we let our dough rest for 15 minutes. And now what are we going to do now? See, it's going to be a lot easier to shape. So what we're going to do now is we are going to shape them into oval shaped. So they're oval shaped. Okay. Get it out evenly as you can. Okay, and this is how it's shaped. So you want to place it on like a greased up baking sheet, cookie sheet. Well, right now what I'm using is a cookie sheet with silicone on it, so I could save the. Okay, and now we'll take our second, and we are going to shape it. Okay, now our second one is there, and you want to keep them 3 inches apart. Okay, now you see these are both on the tray and shaped very nicely. And now what we're gonna do next, the next one is we are going to cover it up, cover up the bread with a clean cloth. Cover it over really, really good, and we are going to put it in a warmer place, anywhere you want as long as it's covered and dark. Now I'm going to put it under here for a change because I got something going in the oven here. So, and we're going to leave it to let it rise for another hour. So, in the next hour, I will show you the next step. So I'll tidy up a bit more, and we will be back. So we're back, and our bread has been resting for a whole hour, and look what it looks like this. Check it out. They're perfect. Okay, so we let our dough rise. And now what we're going to do is brush on some olive oil so it could have a nice crust. Slather it all. And right now I have my oven is now preheated at 400 degrees. Preheat my oven to 400 degrees before you do anything else. And now what we're going to add next is I'm going to top it up with a little bit of sea salt. So you'll get okay, that's good enough. And now we're going to take a knife and we're going to slash it. We're going to cut incisions, 3 incisions on each loaf. Okay. Not too deep. Okay, don't deep it through, just do a serrated line. And here it is. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put this into the oven at 400 degrees for 30 minutes. Okay, into the oven it goes. And then we'll set our timer for half an hour. And we will be back with the final result. Well, we're back. Well, this is the final result, and look at this. Bread, fresh right out of the oven. I took it out about 10-15 minutes ago, and now I'm gonna cut up a piece and have a taste test and taster time. I think I got the wrong knife here. I should be using a bread knife, not this knife, crap. Ooh, it's crunchy on the outside, soft on the inside. But add some butter. Okay, here we go. Olives, the rosemary. This is really, really good. So now this recipe makes 2 loaves of bread. So if you want to keep one for yourself and then give to a friend or neighbor who will really enjoy it, or you can keep both of them and take one out for yourself and put the other in the freezer where it won't go bad. Delicious. Well, that is it for me. So if you have any questions, please. Should talk in my mouth full. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment or subscribe to my blog, but please be respectful. So once again, this is me, Rushdead Dixon Vixen, signing out from Rushdead Dixon Vixen's Kitchen, saying good night, God bless, and bon appetit.